Yep, this is what I'm doing with my Valentine's Day. I'm so lonely. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I am back to bring you this. Shipping is such a big part of the Sonic fandom, so I felt like it was time to make a video discussing my thoughts on the many ships in time for the most heartlessly romantic day of the year. The way this is going to work is that I'm going to go through the 5 main male characters, that being Sonic, Shadow, Silver, Tails, and Knuckles, and give my thoughts on the more popular couples for each of them. Because if I tried doing every couple individually without some sort of order, I would be here all day. And again, I'm sure you want to call me a sexist pig, so I'm sectioning it off based off of the dudes, but you know what? Most of the ships have the dude's name first anyway. I don't make the rules. Also, I shouldn't have to say this, but these are of course my opinions. If you like any of the ones I say I don't like, or vice versa, that's fine. I encourage respectful discussion in the comments below, but if comments calling me a dunce because I don't like what you like could be kept to a minimum, I'd really appreciate it. So without any further ado, let's kick this off with Sonic. I debated starting with either this or Sonic and Amy because Sonamy is undoubtedly the more popular of the two. However, I want to start this video off positively, so we're starting with Sally. So, this couple is actually partly responsible for my Sonic fandom, period. People who watched my Q&A will know that Sad AM and the Archie comics were what really got me into the series. And a big reason was because I loved these two. The way they bounce off of each other is so organic. Each one has something the other lacks. Sally is his other half. People will probably heavily disagree with this, but I actually see Sonic and Sally as just as iconic a duo as Sonic and Tails. Something about them is just so nice. I can't really explain it. Yeah, there were times when the writing didn't do them justice, and as much as I love Ian Flynn's run on the pre-Genesis Archie comics, the will they won't they that they did with those two was painful. Fucking monkey con. But that's hardly enough to ruin these two. There's one problem people bring up with these two, but I'm going to save that for the next couple. Speaking of which, I think I've said all I can about these two. Love them. Sally needs to show up in a game. Hashtag put Sally in the games. Let's make it happen. Now, on to Sonamy. Okay. Flame Shield, activate! I'm not the biggest fan of this couple. Now, I fully admit that perhaps if I started with something like Sonic X instead of Sad AM, then I might be on the exact opposite side, gushing about this couple and saying how I don't understand Sonic and Sally. But, as it stands, I'm not a fan. I don't hate it. I think the hints we got towards it in Unleashed were cute. It was hit or miss in X, but it had its moments. And I'm sure if I thought harder I could think of some other examples. Although they seem to be doing it in IDW by just turning her into Sally, and I don't know how I feel about that. As well as this, there's one more thing that kind of relates to Sonally, but I wanted to wait till we got here to talk about it. And that's the idea that Amy's a better match for Sonic because, well, she accepts him for who he is, while Sally just tries to change him. Back when IDW Sonic was new, I saw a lot of people comparing these two scenes and talking about how this proves why Amy is such a better match for Sonic. Forgive me if I disagree. Relationships are built on compromise and having a mutual understanding with one another. It's not just one person doing whatever they want and the other person going along with it. You're not always going to agree with your partner on every single thing. And when you reach an impasse, that doesn't mean you're incompatible and that your relationship is doomed to fail. You just need to reach a point of understanding. To me, the Archie scene is two people who love each other and have their differences but are willing to put in the effort to make it work. In the IDW scene, Amy is literally begging him to stay with her. And while Sonic clearly shows affection towards her, he also makes it clear that he has no interest in being with her if it inconveniences him. All the compromise is on Amy's part. The only compromise Sonic suggests is that she can come with him to help him with the stuff that he was gonna do anyway. See why that's not a healthy relationship? Anyway, I know I'm in the minority, but this is just my opinion, and I'm sure everyone watching this will be able to respectfully disagree. Oh, who am I kidding? The dislike button is down there. They're better as friends, moving on. Do I gotta talk about it? Alright. I don't actually hate this one. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly a fan of it, but I don't think it's as inherently bad as everyone says. I went over my thoughts on this pairing in my top 5 Sonic games video, but for those who haven't seen that, I actually think the ideas that go along with this pairing are really interesting. Granted, maybe just because it kind of reminds me of Sonally, but still. Sonic, a normally free spirit, having to help this normally uptight princess loosen up a little bit, while at the same time she reveals a side in him that's more shy and self-conscious. The problem is that the writing of the game doesn't do this concept justice. They're apart most of the game, and when they're together you can tell it's someone who's never written a romance before trying to attempt one. Now, a lot of people shit on this couple because Sonic is a Mobian and ELISE is a human. But honestly, I don't think that would have been as big a problem if not for one simple fact. The story of Sonic 06 takes itself very seriously. Everything is played entirely straight, and while I prefer that to
baldy nose hair,
that also means that the Sonic-ELISE relationship is played entirely straight. If there was any acknowledgement in the game of how absurd it was, some jokes here or there about, I can't believe I'm in love with a hedgehog, you know, that kind of stuff, I honestly think it wouldn't get the same amount of hate. But I also don't think simply turning ELISE into a Mobian would fix the problem either. While I think fans have come up with some really cool designs of her as one, that doesn't change the fact that everything in 06 is building to this moment.
To tell the truth, I don't care what happens to the world.
A moment that, in the game's current state, doesn't feel earned. And yeah, you can turn ELISE into a bird, hedgehog, whatever, but unless you flesh out their relationship better, you're only really improving it from an aesthetic standpoint. So, in summary, it's fine, I guess. I still chose ELISE in that forest mission, don't at me. This one is interesting. I actually am of the belief that Sega's been purposefully vague about this one, so that way people can interpret what they want from their relationship. If you think it services the story better for them to have been in love, then they were in love. But if you think that the story works better for them to have kind of a more sibling-like relationship, then they did. It doesn't really matter because, well, she's dead. So it doesn't really matter because it's not like anything new will come of it in any new material. So why would Sega take a firm stance where they don't need to? Although I've heard rumblings that the writer of SA2 meant for it to be a romantic, or at the very least, I think he retweets fan art of it. So then I guess it comes down to how much weight you give to authorial intent. As for my own thoughts on it, I don't really know. I think there's been some really cool stuff that fans have done with it, but in terms of official canon, my major issue is this. We've seen them together like 3 times. They looked out a window, she was part of some of the worst levels in Sonic history, and then she died. That's it. So you can forgive me if I wasn't exactly swept away by this one. Again, I think it's cute when fans do stuff with it, but it's not a favorite of mine. I'd say this and the previous ship are probably the most popular Shadow ships. Shadow and Rouge have been inexorably tied pretty much since their inception. It's not often that you see one without seeing the other, which has led to people viewing their relationship in a more romantic light. I personally think this one is cute, but it's also definitely not my favorite Shadow ship. We'll get to that one in a sec. Honestly, I think I prefer them more as bros than anything else. Like, I much prefer the idea of her being his wingman, wing, to the idea of them being romantically involved. TLDR, it's cool, but not my favorite. They're better as friends, moving on. Okay. I love them so much. And I know I'm such a hypocrite because there are other ships that I'm not in favor of because of a lack of canon material, and yet here I am supporting this one, but that's because it's just so nice. I used to be one of the people who didn't really like this one, but then after I heard Ian Flynn say that they would get together and start Silver's bloodline, which I still believe, I do not care what Izuka said, that man literally makes giant decisions for Sonic lore on a whim in interviews. I thought a bit more about it, and I thought about the way they interacted in SA2 and the way they've interacted in other stuff since then, and, well, gosh darn it. Remember what I said about Sonic and Sally each having something the other lacks? Well, the same can kind of be said for these two, except to a slightly different extent. I like the idea that Shadow is normally more cold and calculating, but with Amy he's willing to let himself be vulnerable, think with his heart. And we've actually seen this in canon material.
I arrived at the doctor's castle, and I ran into Amy. She was looking for Cream, who was missing. I didn't have any reason to help her, but since I was looking for the doctor anyway, I figured. Anyway, I've wasted enough time already.
Also, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I've got to be honest, I think they look better together than Sonic and Amy just from a purely aesthetic standpoint. Oof, that's gonna piss some people off. And it goes without saying that she of course reminds him of MAREA, which is just another reason that this would work super well if worked into official canon. I know I'm in the minority on this, and I'm sure I will be reminded of it in the comments below, but please keep in mind these are just my opinions. I think this is the most fitting pairing for both Shadow and Amy. Don't at me. Oh wow, finally a Blaze ship I like, jeez. Silver and Blaze have been nearly inseparable since they paired up in Sonic 06, which has led to some people seeing the romantic potential in their relationship, and I gotta say, I agree. Now, I absolutely see the argument that they're just friends and that they haven't even interacted much in official material, but like, it's just so nice. I'm just saying, Silver never remembered Sonic or Shadow, despite fighting to save the entire universe with them, but he instantly remembered Blaze when they met again in Sonic Colors. Also, like, just listen to the lyrics of Dreams of an Absolution. Hey, you don't have any proof that that song is about Silver and Blaze, though. Ah, yes, you're right. That's definitely why they play a sad version of it during her death cutscene. I honestly just really like the dynamic of Silver being more shy and timid, but able to kick ass when the time comes, whereas Blaze normally carries herself with confidence, but has her moments where it can be shaken. I think it's a nice balance, and it's different from what you see in a lot of pairings where you have the strong, stern male and the dainty female character. Also, just like, they're so cute together. And they're finally starting to hang out more in official canon material like Team Sonic Racing and IDW. And while it'll probably never become a canon pairing, I do wonder if we're going to get more hints towards it with Evan Stanley having a larger hand in the IDW comics, seeing as how she paired them up in her fan comic Ghosts of the Future. But anyways, in summary, I like it. I really don't have much to say on this one, but I figure I should probably mention it. I think we probably would have seen more stuff from them if the Archie comics hadn't been cancelled, but as of right now, I'm pretty sure the only reason these two get shipped is because their names are similar. Now, let's put aside for a second the fact that they're probably related. With that out of the way, I think it's kind of cute. I don't know, I think Silver's such a dork that it's kind of adorable to watch him fall in love regardless of with whom. Not my favorite, but I think there is a certain charm to it. Although I still think I prefer them as friends. Now, before I get into the first pairing, I wanted to address something that I hadn't realized prior to writing this video, and that is that Tails has just so many ships. This man's like a boatyard, I swear. To put it into perspective for you, if I were to only talk about canon pairings, I would still have 4 to go through. And that's if I ignore all of the ones without some kind of official presence. Like, Jesus, ladies, the man's what, 8? Give him some space. Anyway, let's get on to the first one. So, seeing as how there are so many of these dang ships for this stupid fox, I wasn't really sure which one to start with, but this seemed to be the most prominent one when I was first entering the fandom many years ago, so I decided it was a good place to start. It's fine. The biggest issue I have is that I can't see Cream having the emotional maturity for a relationship, so if something were to happen with them, I think you'd have to age them up at least a few years. I mean, I get why they get paired up. After all, they have similar color schemes, similar powers, and they fill a similar role to their respective main character. But overall, eh. I like this one. It's cute. Honestly, their story is one of my favorite parts of Sonic X, and when Cosmo, spoilers, dies, it's one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in the entire franchise. Honestly, my only real criticism with this one is that I would have liked to have seen more of it. Now, does that mean I want to see Cosmo come back? I'm not sure. Part of me would definitely be excited if that were to happen, but the other part feels like that kinda misses the point. I want to make a video soon where I talk about the importance of Cosmo's death to Tails' development, so I won't talk about that here, but with that in mind, I can't say with complete certainty that bringing Cosmo back would be a good thing. But what do you guys think? I'm genuinely curious. Please, let me know in the comments. But yeah, overall, I really like this one. While this one definitely isn't my favorite, I actually think it is kind of interesting. Think about it. On the one hand, you've got a master tinkerer who lacks confidence. On the other, you've got a novice tinkerer with incredible confidence. Also, full disclosure, this is the last entry I've written in the script because I forgot about it the first time around, and I just want to warn you, do not take a shot every time I say the word interesting in this video. Tails and FIONA. Nope. Ain't touching that. I think this one is interesting. I wish we could have seen more of it. I genuinely wonder if Flint ever planned on explaining how these two got together in the main book, or if that was going to be exclusively a 25, 30 years later thing. But yeah, not much I can say other than I'm more curious about this one than anything else. This is another one that I think is more interesting than anything. I think this could have been made to work, especially when you consider that they were originally the same age before some magic stuff happened. I think the story potential is there for something like this, but again, only after aging the characters up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't really care about any of these. I don't know why exactly. I mean, I like Knuckles as a character. It's just that I don't really have strong feelings one way or another when it comes to who he's paired with. I guess if you twisted my arm, I'd say this is my favorite. They have some cute moments and all, but again, like, They're also cute, and I think their relationship was done fairly well in the comics. But, again, Let's be completely honest here. The only reason people ship these two is because they're both Echidnas. You know it and I know it. Same with Shade. I'm not even going to mention her, but Knuckles and Shade. It's the same with that one. I have absolutely nothing to say about this. Now, I have a few that I'm going to rapid fire real quick since I can't really group them the same way I did the others. Now, you guys may have noticed a lack of same-sex ships in this video, and I assure you that's not by design. I just don't really have a lot to say about many of them. Like, Blaze Amy's cute, I guess. Sonato exists. You see what I mean? Like, I just don't have much to say about him. This one, on the other hand, I actually quite like. I think these two add a lot of character to the IDW comics, since Sega doesn't have as much of an iron grip on them as they do the other characters. And while they aren't a straight-up couple, the little moments they have are really cute. And sad, but mostly cute. So this is cute. I figured I should mention it. I didn't want people to yell at me in the comments for not mentioning it. Would any of you have yelled at me in the comments for not mentioning it? I don't know. But yeah. They were still a couple in the post-Genesis. Their relationship didn't get smashed with a sledgehammer like Sonic and Sally's did, so there's that. It's also cute. It was another one that I figured you guys would yell at me if I didn't mention, but I really don't have much to say about it. I think it's fine. And that does it, guys. Woof, that took too much time that I will never get back. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did I miss your favorite ship? Be sure to yell at me about it. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.